what would your top 10 movies of all time be?
Okay, I have my letterbox thing pulled up right here, and we will get started. So I'm gonna try and so want me to say these in order?
If you want to
So
say
for
them
my
in
number
order,
10,
you can, or if you just want to give me the 10, it does not matter whatsoever.
and I'll have I think I'll have like five other honorable mentions because those are all also other ones that like fight with
Hmm.
them as well. But number
Perfect.
one has to be again the original Die Hard.
Hmm.
That is my all-time favorite Christmas movie of all time. A perfect script, perfect acting. Just rewatched it 2 days ago when I got the Blu-ray set that I just showed you and watched the
Hmm.
entire original trilogy. Like I said, watched with a vengeance today, two yesterday. Love the first four. I pretend the fifth one doesn't exist because I just it makes my heart feel better.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I adored the first film and it is a fantastic film. Love it. Another two would be No Country for Old Men. Like we just said, I love it. Like Anton Chigurh is probably, well, he's not my favorite villain. That goes to Hans Gruber.
Hmm.
No, he is the most terrifying villain I have ever seen. Just someone that every time it's not. He doesn't even feel like he's lifting a finger when he's doing this stuff and just hunting these guys. He is so just calculated and ahead of everyone in this, and just so smart. Like the hotel scene where where Josh Brolin is like realizes that he's in there, and
Hmm.
the scene I was on the edge of my seat the first time I watched it. I was like, this is getting real, and I loved it. So he is a awesome. This is an awesome film. Try and speed up these next two so I don't drag this thing out too long.
No, you're good.
Three, Prisoners by Denis Villeneuve.
Hmm.
Again, a lot of people like to go for some of that Dune Part 2 as their favorite Denis Villeneuve film, which breaks my heart, or Blade Runner 2049. I have to go with Prisoners. I just love the theme of like fatherhood and the dramatic sense of this father that really wants to uh, find his daughter, and it actually does something interesting where it actually shows it makes you feel like you don't hate him because he's doing this stuff to Paul
Hmm.
Dano, because he's justified, because he knows that the something's gonna happen to them.
Yeah.
I'll try and speed these. The Prestige, a
Hmm.
fantastic just magician drama thing. My favorite Nolan film. Adore that film. Just perfectly written script and a twist that blew my mind the first time I watched it. I knew there was a twist. I didn't know what the twist was.
Yeah.
So when I found that out, I I then rewatched it, and then my mind was blown again because I
Hmm.
realized some of the extra details. Because
Yeah.
it's a film where when you rewatch it, you get more details about it. It makes you reframe all that stuff.
Hmm.
Number five is John Carpenter's The Thing, my favorite horror
Dude.
film. Oh
Dude.
yeah,
That literally, it didn't make my top 10, but it's probably literally at 11 or 12. Like I was so close to putting it into my top 10. Like I was, it is just, it's perfect. Like there's nothing bad about it.
I know. Like the practical effects, you have to talk about it. It's
Hmm.
fantastic. The Kurt Russell is awesome in it, as he just about always is, even if I don't like some of his films like Death Proof. But
Hmm.
it is a fantastic film and has one of those endings that isn't a. It's not like the traditional horror films where it's like, well, everyone solved it, we win, go home.
Yeah,
It
it's
actually ends kind of
ambiguous.
dark.
Yeah, it's
It ends
ambiguous
dark.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like even things like, who is the thing? Is Kurt Russell the thing?
Yeah,
Is the other
exactly.
guy
Yeah, yeah.
Kevin
Like it
Richardson
leaves.
the
It's
thing?
like that. It's like the Inception ending where you like it leaves you the audience to guess what happened. So it allows it to be talked about for generations to generations because so many different people can like interpret it a different way.
There's also they also leave clues to it, like when the guy is talking that Kurt Russell is talking to. If you take a look, when he's talking, like Kurt Russell, like you can see the breath coming out because
Mm.
of the cold. When you look at him, he's not doing that. Like it could possibly be the thing, or it's and they also have theories about like that there was oil in the drink thing that he had, and that's why Kurt Russell was like laughing a little bit when it ends.
Uh huh.
And so there's a lot of just it's a really good ending that I love, and I wouldn't say it's quite like Inception. The fact that I think the answer to Inception's ending is obvious,
Mm.
and I seriously am like, seriously, this ending is obvious. How do you guys keep arguing about this? But that's a topic for another time.
Hmm.
Number six is the one is probably my favorite theater experience, even if it's not the favorite film I've seen in theaters. That goes to Die Hard, but my favorite film experience in the theater, The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, a beautiful conclusion to the trilogy where the last like 40 minutes, I was basically just weeping in that theater.
Mhm.
I'm not afraid to admit that. A true man can admit when he's weeping, when something is emotional, and I truly love it. Have you seen that one, by the way?
Oh yeah, no, I so the only one that I hadn't seen, which is really weird, was The Two Towers. I had seen Fellowship and I had seen Return of the King. I just never had seen The Two Towers, and it's just because my dad he loves them and he showed them to me when they were little, and just somewhere along the line when we were watching them, I think he watched Two Towers by himself, and I wasn't there, and then he was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch Return of the King," so I was like, "I want to watch it." Like I didn't want to miss that chance, even though I had seen The Two Towers, and it's not like my dad was gonna fork out 4 hours to go back and watch a movie he just watched the night before. So
But it's perfect.
yeah,
Yeah. Number seven is somebody I know you're gonna love. Blade Runner 2049.
absolutely, absolutely.
The best cinematography I've ever seen in a film. It looks beautiful. Like Ryan Gosling is much better in this than I think Deckard was. For me personally, I was never the biggest fan of Deckard in the original film simply because just about every time he goes to try and get a replicant, almost every time they kick his butt, and
Mm-hmm.
like in literally something I have problems with, even if it is a very good ending narratively. Um, when he does like the when he's actually trying to fight the bad guy in the first film, he literally gets his butt kicked, and then he's about to be killed. Then the bad guy spares him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was. He's not even a good enough Blade Runner to actually kill this guy. How did he even get his job?
Mm-hmm.
So I think 2049 is miles better. You believe Ryan Gosling could kick these people's butts. He literally destroys Dave Bautista.
Yeah,
Stop and think about that. He kills Drax. He kills Drax the Destroyer in the opening, and it's just an awesome film that I love. And
agreed.
And beautiful score, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
8, First Blood.
Mm-hmm.
A film that the sad thing is to me, a lot of people don't seem to give it a chance because they know that the Rambo sequels go much more dumb and over the top,
Yeah.
more into like, okay, no, 2 and 3 go over the top, 4 and 5 go over the top in the violent, grisly, just nasty ways, but they go much more action packed in the sequels. But a lot of people forget in the first film, it's not that at all. It's this thriller, and in the final moments, Rambo breaks down and starts crying and talks about the trauma, and that's something that I actually really love. Is that it actually goes deeper and shows the trauma that some of these veterans faced, and actually justifies this, and actually gives a moral. It makes you feel like they're getting represented, and it's something I just love. Number 9 is Terminator 2: Judgment Day. This is one of the few films that has been in my favorite. That was literally at one point my favorite film of all time, and still love it. Arnold gives an actual performance because sometimes he's very wooden, especially in something like Conan the Barbarian, where he's very wooden. So this, or Hercules in New York,
Mm-hmm.
this he actually, you feel emotion, even if he is a bit stiff. That's kind of the point of him in this. Like when he brushes off the tear from John, is like, I know now why you cry, but it's something I can never do. It's a heartbreaking scene, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a film that I just love, action packed. The effects still hold up, which is mind blowing because this film was made 91,
Mm-hmm.
and it's awesome. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I love
this was one that was also on my top 10 list of all time as well.
it because it's awesome. And then number 10 is probably the most masculine movie of all time, and that's Predator.
Mm-hmm.
Just again, action packed, just a bunch of muscles, and actually has a lot of different balances of action and horror. Where a lot of people like to confuse it to be cheesy. The first little bit is a bit cheesy, but then it kind of goes more into the realm of like when the predator starts appearing. I wouldn't think that's cheesy at all because you see the fear on these people's faces. They
Mm-hmm.
are terrified because this thing is picking them off one by one, and they are the best people on earth, and they find something that's not from this world, and it's destroying all of them. And also in the final moments, instead of Dutch being someone that kills the predator because he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger and because he's awesome and could probably break someone's
Mm-hmm.
head with a finger, it's because he outsmarts it and he's clever. He uses his brain, something that I
Mm-hmm.
also like that they brought back in Prey. But those are my top 10 and a few